Oh my God, you caught me in my backyard. How are ya? And it's summertime. It's summertime, and I got a letter. I got a letter here from Paul Carabello in in Pennsylvania, and Paul writes, "Dear Wendy, my wife Rose's bush is dry, and my baskets are not hanging very nice." I know what you mean, Paul. Okay, because in the summertime, my bush gets dry too. And so on this episode of Wing It with Wendy, I'm gonna make your hose drip. In a good way, in a good way. And we're gonna wet it down, and I'm gonna show you how you could save your wife's bush and have good hanging baskets. Okay, so we'll see you soon on this new episode of Wing It with Wendy. Welcome back to Wing It with Wendy, and we're here in my backyard. And Paul, I'm going to show you how to keep your bush moist, right? So today's episode is all about wet and wild irrigation. And I'll tell you, for just a few dollars, I could show you how to keep your baskets moist, okay, and hanging well. So what we're going to be doing here for literally like $50 or less, you could buy an irrigation system. You could buy it on the Amazon. I go to mrdrip.com, or you go on the Amazon, you could buy it there, and you want to look for drip irrigation. So we're going to make your hose drip in a good way, not like the hose that drips on Chris Harnick's boat. There are two tubings you're going to get. So the first tubing is this 1/2 inch. Okay, this is a 1/2 inch flexible tubing here. And you got this, and then there is a 1/4 inch. This is another little flexible tubing here. This comes in black and brown. So if you need to hide it with a deck or something like that, but this is really good too. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this big hose, right, the fat one, and I like a good fat one, and so then this is on my hose here, and you can see I got a double jointed one here, so I could have this hooked up to my garden hose, and I could take this one and hook this up to this hose here. And I'm gonna put oh, you know what? Oh yeah, that's okay. So we're gonna screw that on, and there you go. And so we got it on our hose. And so this is gonna give us the water to our system, right? Okay. And now, the other thing, a lot of times you're traveling, you're out of town, you forget to water. So the other good thing to have is a timer. You could get these at the Home Depot. The Home Depot has these timers here. And you could set a timer, you could water any time of day, how long you want, how often you want. And there's even these other models that are a twofer, so you got 2 hoses on there, right? So you could hook that all up. And so now let's talk about attachments, and I'm not talking about the attachments you have in your bedroom. So you need the emitters, right? These are the things that are going to spray the water, let it leak out, right? Slowly. So I brought some of my favorite ones here. So this is one emitter here. So this one here is nice for a garden it has a spray. Okay, it has a spray. And the good thing about this, you could adjust the spray. So it has a knob, you could turn it up and down. And then there's this one here. So this other one here, this goes on the end of a stick. And, here, let me pull one of these out. And, here it is. And so this goes on the end of a stick, and this sprays down. So this is going to be like for your baskets. And then there's this kind here. This is another one. This one gives a nice little umbrella. You could stick this in a pot, and it's adjustable too. You could turn it and adjust it, right? And then And then there's these drip emitters. You know, these just plug on the end of the hose, and this will drip out, right? And all of these parts are only like 50 cents. You know, they're like a penny. And so anyway, and then there's another one, and this one has a little adjuster too, so you could adjust it and you're gonna hook it on the hose. And then lastly, you got your hose here, and you're gonna hook up this hose, the skinny hose, to the big one. This is a big supply line. And you could even have these fixtures here that could actually, you can make a tee and add it on and everything else. So what I suggest is you lay out your whole garden, even your hanging baskets of where you want it, and then you cut your hoses, and then when we get back, I'm going to show you how you put it all together, okay? So see you in a little bit.
Hey, that supply of Ritz seems on the fritz.
No, stop, darling. Don't blow your top. I always keep another box handy.
Dandy! He knows Ritz crackers are richer, crisper, and his mouth is full, or he'd help us whisper. Only Nabisco bakes Ritz.
All right, we're back. We're back from our commercial break here, and now I'm going to show you how to put our parts together, right? So I got my big hose right here. This is the main supply line that's hooked up to my garden hose. You could hook it up directly to the house, right? And if you have a plumber, you don't need a plumber, because this will actually, I'll show you how to do everything yourself. Now, this, all you need is a good pair of scissors, and look, I could cut this hose with the scissors, right? And let's say if I wanted to make some adjustments here and I want to add, so these are the fun little attachments here that I was telling you about. And if you needed like create a T, so let's put a T in there, and all you do, nothing, look at, no glue, no nothing. You just push that in there, and it makes a seal. But you're never going to get this out. You're never going to get it out once it's in there, you know. So let's say I want to make a T, right? So I got some extra hose here. Now you could get this in like 50-foot sections for only like $11. $11, right? So we're going to make a T here, and so we're going to push this together, right? There you go. And see it, and it just gets all tight in there, kind of like how I was when I was younger, nice and tight. And there you go. And see, and the thing about it is that creates a seal. And now I got the T here. I'm going to put this other hose here. And you're like, what do you do about the ends, right? What do you do about the ends? Well, the ends, you cap them off. And you know how you cap them off? We just take this and we bend it like that. And then you're going to tape it up. You're going to tape it up. And I will show you that a little bit later when we light it up. And then we tape that up too, right? So now I say, okay, I got this, right? And now I want to like bring water to my pots, my hanging baskets and everything. So now this is where my flexible tubing comes in, and say, wow, Wendy, that looks a little crazy, right? Well, it is, but don't be intimidated. I always never get intimidated by a long hose. So, you know, I wouldn't be intimidated by it. And so you take your hose here, your tubing, right? And you cut the length you want. So let's take, we're going to water this plant over here in this pot, and we're going to cut that tubing like that, right? And if you remember in one of our earlier episodes, we made this pot out of a towel and some concrete, right? You know, so here you go. So I got my little tubing here. And so when you buy your kit, you get this little cutter, right? And so what you can do with this cutter here is you take the big hose, and all this cutter does is you're going to punch. It's to punch a hole in there. So I'm going to punch the hole in. There you go, when you hear it pop. And so I just punched a hole in there. And now the next thing you got to do is you got to connect this hose to this hose. Well, so that's why your kit comes with all these little doohickey connectors here. And these are 1/4-inch connectors, and all you do is you punch it in the hole you made, and it snaps like that, right? It's very easy. You know, you could go to town on this. It's crazy. And then now you take your little hose. You're going to take your little hose here, and we're going to put that on that little nip that you just stuck in there, right? And there you go. There you go. So now we got that hose on there. And so now I want to spray this basket, right? So I have this one here, this is one of our earlier heads that we talked about. This one kind of sprays down, right? And so this one has a hose already on it. And what you do is you just connect it to this hose. And again, it's just push it on, and there you go. And this one I like, is really nice because it sprays down and it comes with a stick. So we're going to take this and I'm going to stick this in the basket right here, okay? I'm going to stick it in that basket, and then later we'll show you how it's going to light up. Now, let's say I want to add in another pot, right? So again, we are going to take our hose here, and we got all these lengths here, and you can just cut it. Just cut whatever you need. So we're going to cut one, and we're going to cut another one. There we go, 2, right? And then I'm going to add to my attachments here. There you go. We're going to put one in there, and then we're going to add one on here too as well, right? And these are going to go in 2 other baskets, and then I got my little nib here, and I stick that in there. There you go. And then we're going to get one more for the other hole we made. There you go. And now I'm going to take these hoses. And see, you know what this is also good for? Because I know a lot of you live in the city. You know, a lot of Wendy's friends live in the city. And if you're on like a patio or you got a balcony, you don't want your basket to dry out. And if you got access to a hose, you could do this on a little deck, a little balcony, and keep your baskets hanging real nice and moist, right? So, okay, so now I added these 2 other little hoses. And so I'm going to show you. So here's another one. This was the one that kind of sprays in like a little umbrella. So we're going to put this one on there. And we just see, and you just push these on, right? And then we're going to do another one. So this one I like. This is my other favorite dripper here. This is good for a hanging basket because this one has an adjuster. You could adjust it, right? So we're going to put that one. Oh, not that one. It's going to go on this one right here. Okay? And so I put that one on, okay? And there we go. So we added three little drippers. This one, and the other one down there. And so when we get back from this commercial break, we're going to pump in some water, and I'm going to show you how it's going to wet your basket.
Grenache Rosé, a fresh, bright pink wine, a party wine, a picnic wine, a beautiful dinner wine. Try Gallo Grenache Rosé, chilled or over ice, and discover just how refreshing wine can be.
Welcome back. And so now, as you can see, I put on my bathing suit here because we're going to get wet. We're going to get wet and moist here because we got our hoses all hooked up now, right? And so I got my water line hooked up on here. So I'm going to go turn it on and we're going to watch this magic happen, right? There we go. So as you can see in our pot over here, so this is like raining down. That's a different type of emitter. It's like wetting that up, right? And then over here, this would be like in your hanging basket, right? So there, and this is adjustable. So you could turn this and you could adjust it and you could turn this down and everything else. So this will adjust. Well, it's not adjusting now, but it will. And then my other little favorite, this is the umbrella one right here. And this is adjustable too. So you could, you just turn it and you got a little one, or you could go really big and spray it out really wide, right? And then we didn't hook up these like little drip emitters here, but these are the little ones that will just go drip, 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 okay? But the most important thing is your timer, right? Because then you could set how long it runs. And then you could even have it come on at like 5 a.m., you know, when you're sleeping and everything. And in the morning you wake up and everything is nice and full and lush. So, so Paul and Rose, I love you. Love you so much. Thank you for bringing this to my attention and creating our new episode of Wing It with Wendy, Wet and Wild. We'll see ya.
And Wendy has stolen